Ash vs. Leon is arguably the greatest Pokemon battle of all time, finally crowning our boy as the very best, like no one ever was. But did you know, there's actually a lot more to this battle than you initially realized? As the epic conclusion to Ash's journey, this battle is jam-packed with Easter eggs and references to past series. You could say there's more than meets the eye. So, I went back through this iconic battle and found over 30 different references. I'm sure there are some that I missed along the way, so feel free to share any references you found in the comments. But with that, this is every reference in Ash vs. Leon. Our first reference actually happens before the battle even begins. In the stands, Chloe and Dawn are seen cheering on Ash, with Dawn's Piplup wearing a cheerleading outfit. The two of them dressed up like this throughout the Diamond and Pearl series to cheer on Ash during his gym battles and the league. Starting off the battle, Leon sends out Cinderace and Ash chooses Pikachu. Although not every time, Ash has a tendency to start with Pikachu for major battles. He did this against Harrison in the Johto League, Paul in the Sinnoh League, and Alon in the Kalos League Finals. After trading blows, Ash switches to Gengar and Leon switches to Inteleon. Gengar dodges Inteleon's attacks with its ghostly abilities, but Inteleon prevents it from hiding by creating a counter shield with Aqua Jet. Counter shield is a technique that Ash developed in Sinnoh after being inspired by Dawn's contest battles. Using this strategy, he was able to counter Fantina's hypnosis by having his Pokemon spin while using a move. Ash frequently used counter shield throughout Diamond and Pearl, and even brought it back during his battle with Cynthia, where Leon had learned of the strategy. Also, this isn't even the first time one of Ash's rivals has stolen the technique. Paul also made use of Ash's counter shield with his Gastrodon during their battle in the Sinnoh League. As the battle progresses, a giant smoke cloud is made, as Ash recalls Gengar to Gigantamax. When he does this, the beam from the Pokeball moves to the side to collect Gengar, who is hidden in the smoke. This exact same situation occurs during Ash's battle with Raihan, with Gengar being stuck inside of the Sandstorm. Using Gigantamax, Gengar is able to defeat Leon's Inteleon, securing the first win before returning back to normal. While this is going on, we get shots of both Marnie and Alistair watching the battle. Ash and Gengar visited with Galar's ghost-type gym leader, Alistair. Alistair helped them achieve the new form, and in the games even uses a gmax Gengar himself. Ash then debuted gmax Gengar in his PWC match against Marnie, defeating her Grimmsnarl. Next up, Leon sends in Mr. Rime, who freezes Gengar with Freeze Dry, creating an ice battlefield in the process. We've encountered many ice battlefields throughout the series, typically against ice-type gym leaders like Price, Wolfric, and Candace. You remember Candace, right? Candace dip! That's so stupid. However, the most prominent instance of this was in Ash's gym battle against Viola. Her Surskit created an ice field using Ice Beam, putting its opponents off balance and allowing it to glide around, just like how Mr. Rime does in the battle with Leon. From here, Mr. Rime sets up Psychic Terrain before knocking out Gengar with Expanding Force. In response, Ash sends out Sirfetch'd. The battle continues with a back and forth between the two Pokemon, until Ash has Sirfetch'd use Fairy Cutter on the ground, destroying the Psychic Terrain. This strategy directly mimics his battle with Valerie in XY, where he destroys Trick Room using Hawlucha's X-Scissor. The two are actually insanely similar, having a Fighting-type Pokemon destroy a Psychic-type field effect with a Bug-type move. Pretty cool. Ash then switches in Lucario and immediately Mega Evolves. At the same time, we can hear the music used throughout XY and Journeys for the Mega Evolution sequence. Also, we get a look at both Corinna and Bede watching the battle. During Journeys, Corinna helped Ash find Lucario's Megastone and even gifted him with his Keystone. Corinna is also the first character to use Mega Evolution in both the games and anime. Ash then debuted his Mega Lucario in his rematch against Bede, using it to defeat her Gmax Machamp. Lucario struggles to hit Mr. Rime as it glides around on the ice, so Ash has Lucario use his aura to sense Mr. Rime's movements. Lucario is then able to dodge its attacks and KO Mr. Rime with Aura Sphere. Ash has a long history with Aura throughout the anime. Aura is the life energy of the Pokemon world, and is primarily associated with Lucario. I won't go into too much detail here, since it could honestly be a whole video in itself, but essentially, it's the Force from Star Wars, but Pokemon.
Who's the Force, Luke?
First shown in the movie Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, Ash is revealed to be an aura user, which gives him a connection to Sir Aaron's Lucario. Ash's aura abilities come up again during the Diamond and Pearl series, where Ash is able to sense and communicate with the special Riolu who is being hunted by Pokemon hunters. And of course, Ash and his Lucario both share this special aura bond, which acts similar to Ash's bond with the Greninja, giving them extra strength in battle. Leon responds by sending in Dragapult, who hits Lucario with a super effective flamethrower, forcing him to switch into Dracovish. Also, not really a reference, but this is the first and only time that a Mega Pokemon has been switched out during a battle. Dracovish is then hit with Dragon Darts, which causes it to grow these strange energy spikes. This is a reference to... well, nothing. I have absolutely no idea what this is supposed to be. Still kinda cool though. Dracovish then catches Dragapult and is able to freeze it using Ice Fang before being switched out by Dragon Tail. Dracovish used the same freeze strategy in their battle against Iris in order to defeat her Dragonite. Leon's Dragapult then goes on a tear, dealing damage to Dragonite and knocking out Lucario. As the battle continues, Ash has Dragonite use Dragonite Meteor. This is a special technique of Draco Meteor that Ash developed at Professor Oak's lab in a battle with Paul. The way he uses the move in this instance is a reference to Charizard's iconic Seismic Toss. Specifically, it mirrors the one during Ash's battle with Gary in the Johto League. Both Dragonite and Charizard grab hold of the opponent and take damage on the way down, only to emerge from a giant cloud of smoke as the victor. From here, Leon sends out Rilaboom, who goes on to defeat both Dragonite and Sirfetch'd. Now this moment, where Sirfetch'd ends up riding its shield, we're going to put as a maybe reference, because I honestly can't think of a moment where something like this happens, but I know there's gotta be something. I mean, this is just too much of an Ash move for there not to be anything. Maybe Oshawott does it with his shell or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you can find anything. Afterwards, Ash sends back out Dracovish, who is finally able to defeat Rilaboom. Leon then sends out Cinderace, who does a lot of damage to Dracovish before hitting him with a Robin Knee Slam, taking the KO. Both Ash and Leon then send out their partners, with Charizard Gigantamaxing. The battle then comes to a clash between Gmax Wildfire and 10 million volt Thunderbolt. This is similar to the final clash in Ash's battle with Kukui, even having the same circling camera around the attack. The two attacks collide, creating a massive storm cloud in the sky, which then causes Eternatus to appear. This could be a reference to the Sword and Shield games, where Rose starts the darkest day right before the finals of the league. Eternatus destroys the giant storm cloud, giving Ash and Leon an extra Dynamax. Leon then Dynamaxes Cinderace, recreating this frame from Journey's 4th opening sequence, as well as this iconic shot from Ash vs Kukui. Ash then Dynamaxes Pikachu and the two let off a final Gmax move, defeating Cinderace. Phew. Okay, we finally made it to the final battle between Pikachu and Charizard, and there is a lot to cover in this section. So, take a seat. Grab your popcorn and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Leon once again sends out Charizard, this time showing off the Galar ball throw style. The trainers in Sword and Shield use this style throughout the games, and it even comes back as a customization feature during the Indigo Disc DLC. Ash stretches preparing for the final battle, mimicking the same movements he did during XY. We then get a shot of Ash looking up, referencing the beginning of the original Pokemon intro. I was actually super excited when I spotted this one. It's one of those blink and you miss it moments. Ash and Pikachu stand ready for battle, with the camera mirroring Infernape's Blaze activation during their battle with Paul. The battle commences. Pikachu jumps on top of Agent Power to avoid the attack and deal damage to Charizard. This is the Rock Tomb climb strategy that Ash came up with during XY, which he used frequently throughout the series. Most notably, it was used during his gym battles with Grant and Karina, and it was even used in his battle against Stevens Cradilly. The intense battle continues, coming to a clash between Thunderbolt and Fire Blast, recreating the shot from the opening. This was originally done between Charizard and Pikachu in Opening 3, but was then changed to Charizard and Lucario in Opening 4. The two Pokemon start to power up, and we then get a dynamic shot. This shot mirrors the start of the Ash vs Kukui battle. Pikachu once again uses Rock Tomb Climb, ascending to the ceiling. The battle rages on before Pikachu gets hit with a Fire Blast. As Pikachu struggles to hang on, we see all of Ash's past companions watching in anticipation. Everyone looks on in silence, as all we can hear is Pikachu's breath before it collapses. We then get a dream sequence, displaying all of Ash's old Pokemon throughout his journey, cheering on Pikachu. It even includes Pokemon that he released, like Butterfree and Goodra, as well as ones he never truly caught, like Larvitar and Solgaleo. Gathering his strength, Pikachu climbs to his feet as a massive explosion of electricity erupts through the top of the arena. This is similar to the final clash between Infernape and Electivire in the Sinnoh League, as their two moves created a similar reaction. Pikachu stands strong, surrounded by a yellow and black electricity. This could be a reference to Infernape's Blaze or Greninja's Water Veil. It could also even be a reference to the Let's Go Pikachu move Pika Papow because of the colors that it uses. However, I like to think of this as its own thing. And as all of this is happening, the original Pokemon theme song plays in the background. Preparing for the final attack, Ash does a signature hat turn, which he does throughout the series, and Leon does his champion pose from the games. The two charge in for one final clash, and Pikachu comes out on top. Come on, what did you expect? It's been like 2 years, you know the answer already. And for our very final reference, Ash stands and receives his trophy alongside all of his Pokemon, just like he does in his first big victory in the Orange League. Well, there we have it. Every reference I could find in Ash vs. Leon. This is such a monumental moment in Pokemon, and it does such a good job at paying tribute to everything that has come before it. But I'm curious, what other battles do you think have a bunch of references like this one? Maybe I could break down Ash vs. Cynthia next. Also, I'm sure there are some references that I missed, so be sure to let me know what you spotted in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more nerdy content.